Good morning, guys. Last lesson of the week, and as promised, as the thing getting harder and harder and more difficult, my hats will get a bit more ridiculous. Okay, so what we're gonna do now, we're gonna take everything we worked this week and last week. Okay, we're gonna look at how to simplify expressions, how to work with fractions, to simplify algebraic fraction, but now to solve algebraic equation, and it's I think it's quite important to understand between simplifying and solving. In simplifying, we're just making it simple, less terms. Solving, we're actually looking for x. But you can only solve an equation. You have to have that equal sign, otherwise you can't solve it. Okay. So we've got a fraction, x minus 4 over 8. I'm just going to make him high up though he doesn't interfere. That little funny hat. Okay. Ooh, that is a bit funny. X minus 4 divided by 8 equals 7. In fact, we start with quite a simple one. I think we've done something similar to that in the beginning of the week. So, at this point, I know normally I tell you, let's get rid of the free number, that minus 4. But first of all, I want to get rid of that fraction, that denominator, that 8. So this whole thing, x minus 4, it's as if we have brackets here. Okay? Is divided by 8. So to get rid of the 8, we need to do the opposite. We multiply by 8. So we're going to write x minus 4, and now we need to times 7 by 8. We get 56. Okay? Now, very easy, getting rid of the 4. We're doing plus 4 equal x equal 60. We got the answer. Okay, so we start pretty easy. Okay? Now, I'm going to do a very similar kind of question, but now, I put the 0 here, which can overthrow a few people. Again, I've got x minus 3. I want to divide by 5, so I want to get rid of the 5. Okay? So, I'm going to multiply by 5. So, I'm going to write x minus 3, because divide by 5, multiply by 5, will cancel out. Okay? But now, what is 0 times 5? Is it 5? Is it 1? It's 0. 0 times anything is 0. So that's going to be equal to 0. And then I'm going to do plus 3. X equals 3. Very easy. Okay? So write that down if you haven't yet. By the way, we're in page 116, exercise 4. I'm going to pause you and put another. Okay. So now really we're moving to proper algebraic equation with fraction. Okay? So I've got 2x minus 1 divided by 2 equal 2x divided by 3. Okay? We've got two fractions, two different denominators. What did we learn last lesson? We learned that to get rid of that denominator, to simplify it and then eventually get rid of it, we will get rid of it now, we need to have the same denominator. So this question starts by trying to figure out what's the lowest common denominator. What's the lowest common multiple of 2 and 3? And the answer is 6, isn't it? So I'm going to write that, instead of divide by 2, I'm going to write divide by 6. And instead of divide by 3, I'm going to write divide by 3. But to do that, because I multiply the denominator here by 3, right? 2 times 3 is 6. I must also multiply this by 3. Okay, let me just. Because I multiplied that by 3 to get 6, I must multiply that by 3 as well. Whatever I do to the bottom, I must do to the top. Okay, just like we did it when we simplified. If I multiply that by 3 to get 6, I must multiply that by 3 to get 6. And then I can, maybe let's do it in 2 stages. So I'm going to write 3 times 2x minus 1. Now let's have a look at this. From 3 to 6, how did I get from 3 to 6? I multiplied it by 2, right? But if I multiply the bottom by 2, I must multiply the top by 2. So 2 times 2x, that's a bit easier. I've got 4x. Okay, so that's sort of stuff we did last lesson. We simplified. Okay, but what we're doing now, okay, because we're trying to solve x, we're not just simplifying. Eventually, we want to get rid of the denominator. That's our aim, to get rid of that 2 and the 3. And now, we can. Because I've got something divided by 6 equals something divided by 6. if I multiply both sides by 6, multiply both sides of the equation by 6, the 6 will cancel out. 6 divided by 6 is 1. 6 divided by 6 is 1. So that's now you understand why I wanted to get the same denominator. Okay? If I get the same denominator, I can multiply it. Boom, it's gone. When we didn't have the same denominator, we started with 2 and a 3. If I time it by 2, that will go away. But that's not. If I time it by 3, that will go away, but not this one. See, now you understand why we're trying to find that lowest common multiple. So we're going to write it again. 3 times 2x minus 1 equals 4x. The 6 are gone. They cancel. They cancel each other out. Only when I have 2 equal lowest common denominator. Now, I just need to open the brackets like we did in the beginning of the week. 3 times 2x is 6x minus 3 equals 4x. Now we've got x's on both sides. We have to decide which way we're going to move. Okay, 6x is larger than 4x. So I'm going to move the 4x to here. I'm going to get 2x minus 3 equals 0. Because if I did 5 minus x minus 4x, I got 0. And then I move the 3 to the other side. 2x equals 3. Almost there, almost there. I just need to get rid of the 2. So I'll divide by 2. X equals 3 over 2. Okay, you can write 1.5 or 3 half. Okay, I'm going to pause here now. We'll do one more question. Okay, so last example for here. So I've got a similar-ish kind of problem. I've got x plus 3 divided by 2. But on the other side, I don't have a fraction. Okay, and what should I do? Now, there's a couple ways of explaining it. I'm going to go with a way which is maybe a bit longer, but I think it will make more sense. So, in the example we had before, we had 2 fractions, but different denominators. So we insisted, we made sure they'll have the same denominator. We found the lowest common denominator. Okay? Now, it looks like I don't have a fraction. Okay? What I would say now, later maybe I'll kind of say slightly different, but I would say, okay, like we did before, if there's no fraction, I would make up a fraction. So 2 plus 3x is the same as 2 plus 3x divided by 1. Right? It's the same thing. I can always divide by 1. And now, voila, suddenly I have a fraction. Okay? And now I ask myself again, what's the lowest common denominator? What's the lowest common multiple between 2 and 1? Okay? And the answer is very simple. It's 2. Okay? So I'm going to say, make sure that both of them will be divided by 2. First one is very easy because it's already divided by 2. So if I didn't change the denominator, I mustn't change the numerator. But the second one here, I went from 1 to 2. What did I have to do? I multiplied by 2. So I have to multiply the numerator also by 2, remembering that I have to write down in brackets. I must write down in brackets because I'm multiplying all of the numerator. I'm not just multiplying 3x. So it's 2 times 2 plus 3x in brackets. Okay? Now, remember, when we have the lowest common denominator, the same, only when it's identical denominator. Now, how do I get rid of it? Correct, we multiply by it. So, time 2. And then if I time 2 divided by 2, that kills away that denominator. X plus 3 equal 2 times 2 plus 3x, and that kills the 2. Okay, now I just need, there's nothing I can do on the left side, I just need to open here. So I'm going to get 4 plus 6x. Okay, now have a look at this. I've got 1x here, but I've got 6x on the other side. I personally rather move the x to this side, to where there's more of it. So I'm going to do minus x, and I'm going to write 3 equals 4. What is 6x minus x? Is 5x. And then move the 4 to this side by minusing 4. You still with me? Okay. I'll write minus 1 equal 5x. And then I'm going to divide by 5. So I'm going to get minus a fifth equal x. Okay. But I don't really want you to write answers like that. So in the last step, just swap it around. Instead of minus fifth equal x, write down x equal minus 5. You can always do that. You can swap sides. That's not the problem. Okay? And that's the answer. Okay? So that's our lesson 5. Okay? You can say 1 out of the double. Okay? Please follow the exercise I've given you. And in the second double, I'll give you same kind of topic, but a little bit more difficult level.